I do want to bring in Chris Markowski, founder of Markowski Investments. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thank you, Greta.
Businesses in the leisure and hospitality sector seeing the strongest job growth in April. That sector, though, is still short about 3 million workers from pre-pandemic levels. Restaurants in particular are continuing to report difficulty finding workers. Do you think that government aid will hamstring growth even as more states reopen further?
Oh, I definitely think that all of this government aid has hurt significantly. Anecdotal, but I have lots of clients on restaurants, businesses out there. They can't open up their dining rooms. They can't open up various different aspects of the business because they can't find workers. Speaking to contractors out there as well, what they're paying, in essence, illegal workers, day laborers, upwards of $250 a day cash. Backlogs in regards to tons of different things that need to get done. And the reality is because people can still stay on this extended unemployment for an extended period of time, up until September. Right now, we're still about 8 million jobs plus short from where we were pre-pandemic.
Today's private report does come ahead of the Labor Department's official April jobs report on Friday. Expectations for that are 1 million jobs added, with the unemployment rate dipping to 5.8%. What will you be focused on when you're looking at Friday's report?
It's labor participation. That's the most important thing, is getting people back to work. They can say that the unemployment rate is X, but based upon what? How many people are getting back into the workforce? It was great to see this past week the governor of Montana step up and say, hey, listen, we've got to get people back to work here. So you know what? We'll give you a bonus if you go and get a job and hold it for 4 weeks. It's $1,200 bonus. I think it's kind of ingenious to get people up and moving and grooving again.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was forced to walk back comments that she made about interest rates on Tuesday. Earlier in the day, she said a rate hike might be needed to prevent the economy from overheating. Then, though, she clarified that she wasn't trying to influence Fed policy, just her opinion. The Fed is independent. Fed officials now are out saying there's no threat of long-term inflation and rates will be holding steady. Who's right?
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life, that there's no threat of long-term inflation. Inflation's here. You can take a look. Companies are making their products smaller to deal with the costs that continue to rise across the board. Company after company after company is warning that they're going to have to raise prices. Everything is going up. You take a look at the stuff, the commodities that goes into everything that we buy. It's going up in price. Last weekend, you had Berkshire Hathaway's meeting. Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger telling you inflation is here. It's real. Yeah, it's almost, insulting my intelligence when you continue to have these people in Washington, D.C. tell us again and again and again that there's no inflation. Yet every single time we look at our credit card bill, our grocery bill is more than it was the month before.
Yeah, the Fed's preferred inflation measure is the core PCE. That does exclude food and energy prices, which arguably are the two prices that impact everyday Americans the most. As you mentioned, commodity prices are ballooning out of control. Just look at lumber, steel, corn. Should the government be stepping in to fix the issue before this trickles down to the consumer more?
There's nothing really the government can do to fix the issue. It's the reality is we've printed a ton of money. It's floating out there, and the government's planning on spending a lot more. And we've got too much money basically chasing after too few goods. And this inflationary pressure, you see it across the board. You see it in the financial sector and various different investment vehicles made up out of thin air, all of a sudden being worth more than $50 billion. So you got certain Bitcoins out there. Dogecoin was based upon a joke. How is that worth more than $50 billion at this point in time? It's all because there's a lot of money out there that's chasing stuff.
And how much worse do you see the inflation issue getting at this point?
I don't see it getting better anytime soon, that's for sure. Obviously, I hope that some of the supply chain issues might help to some degree. But, you keep printing, we keep printing, and we keep spending the way we are. Yeah, prices are going to continue to go up. And I want everybody to understand, inflation is just a tax. That's all it is. It's every day you wake up the next morning, you've got less money in your pocket because the value of your dollar has dropped.
All right, Chris Markowski, founder of Markowski Investments, joining us to discuss the latest economic data amid the pandemic. Thanks as always for coming on the show today.
Thank you.